not to get stuck in your business at 100 to 400K range, and make sure you get to your first $1 million+ year. So if you want to take your business to $1 million+ a year, and you want to not be one of the 97% of business owners that get stuck in what I call Swamp 1, which is where they get to around 100 to 400,000, and they can't quite break the revenue ceiling. Does this sound familiar? It's like you try and grow, you dabble in things, you try and bring new people in, it doesn't quite work, you push and you cause pain, the systems break, things don't work, people don't work, so you grow a little bit, then you shrink again, you waste money, you throw money out, things don't happen, and you end up overwhelmed, overworked, overstretched, stressed, frustrated, and without the growth that you thought you were going to get out the end of it. And thus, I speak to owners all the time who've tried breaking through the ceiling of that sort of 1 to 400 range. They stalled out at 100, 200, 300, or 400, in that range somewhere. And I can hear the defeat in them. They've just decided that it's too scary and too risky and too painful to go to the next level. And the reason they think that is just because they never knew how. And it's one of those things, you don't know what you don't know. And when you don't know how to push from 2, 3, 400 up to $1 million, then of course it's difficult. And we all tend to make the same mistakes at that level, which we're just unaware of. When you do know how to break through that level, it's not super easy, it still needs work and we still need to make some changes, but it becomes pretty simple. Just with a little bit of right decision, a little bit of work ethic, we can implement new systems into the business around that level and then skyrocket off to our first ever $1 million+ year and beyond. So the first of the 4 things that you have to have, the first system that you have to build into your business if you want to scale past the stuck point and get to your million, is a sales and marketing system on the front end of your business. Now, let me be clear, because I talk to people all the time, I talk to owners all the time, and as soon as I say sales and marketing, i.e. like signing new members into their dance, martial arts, gymnastics, CrossFit, yoga, Pilates, whatever it is they're running, where they bring people in for weekly classes and train them and coach them and give them a workout, whenever I speak to owners of those businesses and I start with this concept, you've got to have marketing and sales dialed in as a system, I generally get, oh yeah, I got that. I say, then, well, explain to me, describe the system to me. And invariably, for the people that are stuck, I always hear the same thing. They start telling me what they have to do week in, week out, month in, month out to make that happen. Yeah, we get loads of referrals and I have to put these videos out. And yeah, I run the Facebook and Meta ads and I do this. And it always revolves around either them doing it or them motivating the system all the time. Neither of those will allow an owner to scale our type of business to $1 million+, because it's dependent on your whimsical energy and mood whether or not that happens. So let me be clear again. The number one thing, you need a sales and marketing system on the front end of your business. A system means just this. You don't have to engage with it for it to work. There's people and software and systems all working to make the new members join your club each month that you don't have to engage in. Certainly you can look at the KPIs, you can watch the results and you can talk to the team about it, but you need as a business owner to be able to go away for a couple of weeks, turn your phone off, and the work still happens and the growth still happens. Now you can start breaking through that ceiling. But if you don't take care of that number one, if you don't build a system for the marketing and the sales of bringing new people into your business, then you will forever be stuck at the 2, 3, 400 grand range. You won't be able to break free of it, because it's just a simple law of business. You cannot scale something that just keeps pulling you back into having to make it happen week in, week out. Here's the second thing you've got to do. You've got to make your business not owner dependent. So the number one mistake a lot of businesses make, and especially when they're small, is it's all on the owner. That is, the owner does everything. And there's a couple of layers to this. I'm going to show you the obvious one, and then I'm going to give you a nuance which very few owners understand, but a lot of them get stuck in it because they don't even realize they're stuck in it. So listen carefully. So first of all, let's be clear, there's no guilt and shame in your business being owner dependent. It's a natural part of a process that you have to go through. So when you start, it's all you. You're teaching all the classes, you're doing all the admin, doing all the marketing, doing all the signups. You're dealing with the finances and accounts, you're paying the bills, you're ordering the kit, you're handing the kit out. Like, it's endless when you start one of our wonderful businesses or any business. You are it. You is the business. You've got to do everything. So there's no shame and guilt in that. That's part of the process. But what happens then for a lot of owners is around 100, 200, maybe pushing 250, 300. They're in this first phase of owner dependency where everything is still run by them. They maybe have a couple of helpers. They might have an assistant who teaches a couple of classes. They might have someone doing a bit of admin. So they generally have a couple of helpers, but everything is still dependent on them. So all the fires, all the challenges come up line to them that they have to deal with all the time. They're dealing with all the customer inquiries, questions and complaints to the business. They're still doing admin, they're running all the trainings, they're still overseeing. And generally that type of owner, even when they've given jobs to their couple of assistants, they still tend to oversee and micromanage those roles as well. So it's incredibly owner dependent. And you will never break the 100, 200, maybe 300. You won't get out of that range whilst you're playing that game. The next level is incredibly interesting, and I speak to owners all the time, and I'm very blessed. I have lots of conversations week in, week out with owners of dance and martial arts and gymnastics and yoga schools and all these types of businesses. And a lot of owners think they've broken the owner dependency trap. But actually, when we get into conversation, we kind of realize they are still in the owner dependency trap. And so what that looks like is when they've got to 3, 4, maybe even 500,000 a year revenue. So they've built a thing and they've been able to step back. So they've brought people in. They have a full-time person running the office. They have a receptionist. Maybe they have someone doing signups. Maybe they have someone teaching a bunch of classes. And so they might be doing a bit of teaching and they're overseeing the team and they're running the team and they're still involved in the business, but they've been able to step back a little bit, free up a bit of time and kind of elevate where they're not just in doing everything all the time. And the trap there, when I speak to those owners, is that they think and they believe that they've made it through the owner dependency phase of their business. Now, kudos to you as an owner if you've got to that stage, because you've gone through the first level of owner dependency, which is just you doing everything and everything exists in your head and every fire has to be put out by you and every job has to be done by you. That's the first level and you've got to break that. So if you've got past that, well done. This next level where you do have a team and people do things and you've got people teaching and you've got people picking up the admin and you've got that stuff going on. But here's the challenge. Most owners, when they're there, still have all the challenges coming up the line to them. They still have to deal with lots of communications and admin. They still jump on the mat and teach a bunch of classes. They're still the cover. If someone's off, they have to go and cover the role. So the business kind of struggles to move and evolve and grow past them. It is still dependent on the owner. And in my experience, what happens very often then is the business stalls because the owner takes a bit of a step sideways, brings a bunch of people in, but doesn't empower them with autonomy and passion and decision-making capability and the ability to put fires out themselves and the ability and the desire and the confidence to build their department beyond where it's at. The owner forgets to kind of do all that for the team. So what they've got is a bunch of people doing the basics, but they're not growing and evolving the business. And the owner isn't doing that anymore because they've stepped off to the side. So those businesses always stall out in what I call swamp one, which is 100 to 400,000 revenue. That's swamp one. There is a swamp two when you get to about 2 million. That's another training for a whole other day. You don't need that right now if you're down at this level. So we get stuck in swamp one. They take a side step, they put a team in, and then they sit in swamp one for 5, 10, 15, 20 years for the rest of their career, and are never able to break out and build the vision that they once held so sacred for them. So the third system or thing that you must implement into your business if you want to break through swamp one, revenue ceiling, and get up to your first $1 million+ year in your business is SOPs, standard operating procedures, scorecards, whatever you want to call them. You need to start systematizing your business. Don't overthink it. It's so ridiculously simple. You can do the camera method where you literally just record yourself talking through the system. You can screen share and record yourself doing the system. You can write it on a quick PDF, get AI to help you. Don't overthink your SOPs. They don't have to be complicated. They don't need 20,000 hours of you sat typing away and creating this perfect thing that's going to change in 6 months anyway. Just get basic, simple SOPs done for all the systems and processes in your business where, okay, how do we do X? Bump, 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 bump. There's the 5 steps to do X. Done. SOP finished. Businesses that scale to $1 million+ and beyond generally will have an SOP of how they accomplish each of the processes and tasks within the business so that that task then is replicable by anyone. Doesn't mean the transition when someone leaves is perfect and wonderful and smooth, but if someone steps out of your business for any reason, someone else can just look at the SOP, the standard operating procedure, and they can at least perform at a basic level that task or process or system because it's documented steps 1 to 10, follow that, job done. So that's another thing you need. And if you don't like them, I get it. I've fought these for years. The way my brain works, I just like to be at the front charging, going, come on, let's sell stuff and build stuff and teach great classes. And I love driving from the front. I'm not that good at slowing down and sitting down on the sideline as it felt and creating SOPs and structure and systems, as my team will gladly, with a grin on their face, tell you. But it's an important part of the business. So if you don't like it, I get it. Either get someone else in your business to put them together with a bit of oversight from you, or suck it up, buttercup, sit down, use AI to create them. Don't do it without AI. You are insane if you're not using AI to help you create them in nowadays, and piece them together and just start documenting everything that needs doing in your business. Get it out of your head, get it into an SOP. Now you can scale. The problem if you don't do that, and here's what happens on all of these, if you don't have a sales and marketing system, if the business is still owner dependent, if you don't have everything SOP'd in your business, if you try and scale, the whole thing crumbles and it contracts back pretty much to where it was. You may well have had this experience. If you've been sat in Swamp 1 for a while now, 100 to 400 grand, and you've kind of tried pushing a few times, go, I know, let's throw more money at ads and see what happens. And you've had that slight growth and then pull back, and you've had challenges and fires galore to put out. It's because you don't have these systems in place. So there isn't a business to scale. And the last thing you must do, I've left the best, most important till last. It will sound pretty obvious when I say it, but hear me out. The fourth and most critical thing you have to do if you want to break through Swamp 1 and take your business to $1 million plus a year, you have to bring in the right people. You've got to hire the good people. I know this sounds obvious, but here's what you probably do right now. If you're stuck on 100 to 400 grand, here's how you hire. I would bet my life on it because it's exactly what I did. Even beyond that, I still tried carrying this on, but I've learned in the last couple of years, I've got to bring good people in, people that can do the job, have the right mentality and attitude for the job, and or the skill to go and execute on that job is critical if you want to take your business beyond where it's at. And here's what I know you're probably using as recruitment criteria right now. It's someone you know. It's either a friend or family member, someone local to you, one of your members, or one of the parents of your members. Am I getting close? Who you like, who you trust, who they are nice people, and they're easily accessible. Like they'll work for not a lot of money. They'll work part-time. They can kind of work around the hours you want. They got a bit of flexibility. That, I guarantee, is probably how you've recruited someone at least once in the past. Possibly that's someone on your team right now. If you take a look at your team, that's how you chose them. And the truth is with that, and again, we all have to go through it as business owners, so no guilt, no shame. I did it plenty, paid the price, learned the lesson, and then figured out I've got to recruit people that are actually right for the role. Not their fault, my fault for bringing the wrong people in. And eventually you learn the lesson that if you want to grow, you have to bring in good people. Now there's ways and means to bring different people in. You might not be able to afford a full-time marketing director. You might not be able to afford an operations manager or director. You might not be able to afford a full-time content creator. It depends where your business is and what cash flow you have. But I implore you, every time you're about to bring someone into a role, really truly ask yourself, can they actually do the role? Do they have the right mindset? Do they have the right work ethic? Do they have the skills and competence and confidence to go and do the thing? And even if they don't have the background and skill, can I train the thing into them? Have they got the right type of personality? Are they coachable? Do they have a good brain and a good work ethic on them so I can coach them and I can get them doing this in the next few weeks and get them doing it well? So we've got to ask ourselves those tough questions. The most costly mistake you will make in your business as you try and build is bringing the wrong people in to the important roles in your business. And we all do it because we go for cheap, we go for easy, we go for trustworthy, we go for people we know, we go for flexibility, and then we bring the wrong people into important parts of the business, and the business suffers, and they suffer ultimately, and they will leave, and they will feel a dent in their confidence, even though it wasn't their fault. They shouldn't have been put there in the first place. It's a sucky ass way to try and build a business, and it will guarantee that you stay stuck in Swamp 1 and won't be able to break through to $500,000, 700, 800, 900,000, and then get to that $1 million a year plus revenue in your business. So there you have it. There's 4 principles, systems, to-dos, things you must put into your business to make sure that you get to $1 million plus turnover and don't get stuck like 97% of business owners at 100 to 400K revenue. I hope I've been emphatic enough for you on this training. I can tell you from vast experience and a lot of personal pain of making all of these mistakes in my business many, many times. Get those 4 things in. Even if you're tiny, if you've got a 30, 40, 50 grand a year turnover business at the moment and you're not ready or you can't quite afford some of these things, still be steadily building the business towards them. Start thinking about, in stages, removing owner dependency in the business. Like the business doesn't depend on you week in, week out to run. Start creating SOPs now. Everything you do for the business or someone else does, start creating the SOP which defines specifically how that role works. And start looking for and figuring out how to bring the right people into your business to support you. They may even come and support you for nothing right now. People love championing the new business owner to make it. They might even come work for sweat equity, like they put the time and effort in now and they get paid later. There's loads of ways to connect with people and bring good people in. Don't be limited by thinking you have to go and spend 50 or 100 or more thousand a year on their salary. There's other ways to get them involved in your business. There you go. That's the end of the training. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want more trainings like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. We put these trainings out every week to help you build your business. And come follow me on Instagram at tim.bainham, where we dump daily inspirational out for you to keep you on track.